Welcome back to the WHHI Daily News. We have talked so much over the last year about affordable housing on Hilton Head Island, gone through political campaigns, everything, all of that stuff. Well, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of getting it done. The Hilton Head Housing Action Committee is chaired by this guy, Jack Alderman, who brings a great background and a committee together of 9 of you who have interesting backgrounds, who are kind of in charge of making it happen. Tell us a little bit about those backgrounds and where we're headed.
Yes, I'm one of 9 on the committee. My background is in housing and development here in Illinois before that, but I've been here for 33 years and did a lot of the planning for the Union Camp owned property off the island. We have others on the committee that are very much involved in housing finance, low income housing, workable workforce housing. So it's a great group of folks. They've been selected by town council because of the varied backgrounds.
Yeah, and so you're bringing experts, and that's what Hilton Head can do. There's such a great knowledge base in this town of folks who have moved here from other places. You all bring all that together, and hopefully, obviously, we turn that into a better workforce housing situation on the island. Where are we in that process?
Well, the committee has been formed this fall, so we are organized and we are fully staffed with the 9 folks that are on the committee. We've had several updates from town staff, and we are a committee of the town. Town council formed us, so we are working with the staff. We're an advisory and recommending body primarily, and so now we're ready to really get knee deep into the issues.
And we now have somebody on staff whose job it is to do this, right?
Yes, in addition to Mark Orlando and Missy Lewick and her planning staff, the town has just hired Quincy White, who is coming here from Virginia to be the chief housing officer for the town. So that is going to allow us...
Housing officer, I love that title.
That's right. That's going to really allow us to ramp up and have somebody waking up every morning that's worrying about that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are an advisory committee. You've all got other things going on, but you're going to be the conscience, I would imagine, of that chief housing officer. What are we looking at? We got an island with finite land left. We got to use what we got for the most part. We've started the process on the north end there near the post office with some options. Tell me where we're headed.
Yeah, land is one of the big challenges. I think the 3 biggest challenges are land. Where can we find the right places to put affordable workforce housing? The second is time. There's a lot of urgency to move this ahead. More and more each year, it's more difficult to get the workforce to come across the bridge every morning and leave every evening with a long commute.
But the demand is there, right? I mean, they do want to be on the island.
They do.
If they can afford it.
But increasingly, there are great jobs off island as well. So folks that are currently off island working for jobs on the island really need to be here to the extent that we can make that happen.
Is there a financial end of this that private financial that wants to be a part of that, or is that maybe the hardest part, is finding somebody who says, yeah, I'll build some houses there for X dollars that's probably less than I could, and I'll rent them for X dollars less than I probably could in order to make this happen?
Yes, that's a real issue. How do we keep the private enterprise folks working with us in public-private partnerships? If those folks that are private funded builders could have done the affordable workforce housing and there was a motive profit-wise to do that, they would have done it already.
That's right.
It needs a lot of help funding-wise. A lot of that's going to come from the town. They're looking at sources from the accommodations tax that are going to help that. They've put some money in this year's budget for that. And that's what it's going to take. The land's going to need to be able to provide some land, some working approvals, and some cash where it's necessary.
Are you positive about about the process? You feel good about having this thing work?
Yes and no. It's a big lift.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of will on the part of not just the town, and certainly town government has that will, from town council to the staff, and now they've formed this committee and they've brought in Quincy White to be the chief housing officer. But the citizens of the town are going to need to be behind this. They're going to need to accept the fact that it's real and very, very necessary for the future vitality of the town. And
that means not the not in my backyard crew. We got to kind of tamp that down as much as possible.
Yeah, I think that's a concern from some folks. Other folks are saying, can't private enterprise just do this?
Yeah.
And we want to work with private enterprise, but it's going to need some help from the town of Hilton Head Island, and that's what we're about to do here.
All right. In 30 seconds, what's the next goal? What's the next hurdle you want to be able to say we did it?
Well, we are looking at several facets of workforce housing. One is Habitat for Humanity. Okay. One is a newly formed CCDC, which is a Coastal Community Development Corporation that's buying up individual units. We have some private employers that are building housing, and the North Point project up near the North End Post Office is ready to go, and that's the first example. But the town has bought other tracts, and we hope to make those work as well as quickly as we can.
Jack, I hope we see more of you in the near future, talking about the good things that are happening with that. Jack Alderman, the head of the Hilton Head Housing Action Committee. We'll be back with more right after this.